A good day to one and all. This is a science lesson for 4th standard. It's an interesting chapter, children, and it's all about animal life and the adaptations that they have made for themselves in this world. So chapter 3 on page 164, adaptations in animals. Now this topic means how the animals are suited to the conditions or the environment in which they live. Like camels, they live in deserts, they have a hump for storing their water, they have thick skin to resist the heat of the desert, and they have pads on their feet so that their feet or toes don't get hurt when they walk on the hot sand. Now coming to the polar bear. Polar bear is adapted to live in the cold ice-capped regions. The color of the polar bear itself is white, that is, it camouflages with the ice. The ice is also white in color. Then you have the tiger. Tigers also live in the jungles and they are good hunters. They can run very fast to kill their prey. So each animal has adapted itself to the environment in which it is placed. So let's start. Write L if the animal is a land animal and W if it is a water animal. The first one is tiger, land animal. Second, a dolphin, water animal. Third one, cow, land animal. Fourth one is a penguin, it's a water animal. Next, elephant, land animal. And the last one is alligator, it's a water animal. Just like plants and animals live on land and in water, there are some animals that live partly on land and partly in water. The natural surroundings in which an animal lives is called its habitat. So the frog is one example of an animal which lives in land and in water. Fish lives exclusively in water. Horse lives exclusively on land. So the environment in which an animal lives is called its habitat. An animal can survive only in its habitat. For example, fish live in water. If you take a fish out of water and keep it here on the sand, it will die. Same way, if you take a horse and put the horse in water 24 hours and ask it to live, it will die because of the cold it cannot bear, or the condition is not suitable for it. They cannot live in land. Similarly, camels live in hot deserts. They cannot live on the cold mountains. You cannot take a camel and make it live in the polar region. It will die because of the cold. Similarly, you cannot bring a polar bear and make it live in the hot desert of Rajasthan. The heat will kill the animal. Habitats and adaptations. Animals have certain features that help them survive in their natural surroundings. The process of developing these features that helps an animal adjust to its natural habitat is called adaptation. When animals are not adapted to their surroundings, they move to a place where they are better suited to live, or else they die. Habitats and adaptations. Animals have certain features that help them survive in their natural surroundings. The process of developing these features that helps an animal adjust to its natural habitat is called adaptation. When animals are not adapted to their surroundings, they move to a place where they are better suited to live, or else they die. So each animal has some characters developed in its body that helps it to live in that particular environment or in that particular habitat. Now if they are not suited to live in that habitat, they move to some other place, because if they continue to live in that particular place which does not suit them, they will die. Adaptations for environment. Now how these animals are adapted to the environment. Animals are adapted to the environment in which they live. Depending on the environment in which animals live, they can be classified as terrestrial animals, arboreal animals, aquatic animals, amphibians and aerial animals. Animals are adapted to the environment in which they live. Depending on the environment in which animals live, they can be classified as terrestrial animals, arboreal animals, aquatic animals, amphibians and aerial animals. Now different animals live in different habitat. So according to that, they are classified, and the first one is terrestrial animals. They are animals which live on land. Animals that live on land are called terrestrial animals. Tigers, lions, deer, cows, camel, and polar bears are terrestrial animals. Terrestrial animals have legs that help them walk and run on land. Most of them have lungs as their breathing organs. Camels that live in hot deserts store fat in their humps. As I told you, they store water too. The thick skin protects them from the heat. As I told you, the feet of the camel also has thick pads so that it protects them from getting burnt in the sand, the hot sand. Polar bears live in the cold Arctic region. They have thick fur on their bodies which keeps them warm. So, animals that live on land are called terrestrial animals. Tigers, lions, deer, cows, camel, and polar bears are terrestrial animals. Terrestrial animals have legs that help them walk and run on land. Most of them have lungs as their breathing organs. Camels that live in hot deserts store fat in their humps. As I told you, they store water too. The thick skin protects them from the heat. As I told you, the feet of the camel also has thick pads so that it protects them from getting burnt in the sand, the hot sand. Polar bears live in the cold Arctic region. They have thick fur on their bodies which keeps them warm. So fur traps the heat of the body, and this is how the polar bear keeps itself warm. Snakes are also terrestrial animals. They move on the ground in a zigzag manner. However, they do not have legs. They have scales in their bodies which help them crawl. So the underside of a snake's body has scales, and the scales are overlapping each other, and that helps in the movement of the snake when it is on land. Next page. Some terrestrial animals such as bears, frogs, and some squirrels become inactive during cold winter months when food is scarce. They go off to sleep to save energy till food is available again. The winter inactivity or sleep is called hibernation. Now during winter in some parts of the world, or even maybe some dense forests here in India, some type of bear or sloth or you can say squirrels and frogs, they become inactive. They are not active at all. Now why do they do this? Because if they are active, they will burn up all the energy in their body, and food is also scarce during winter. So this is how they conserve the energy in their body by remaining inactive till the favorable season comes and food is available. Now this period of rest which is taken by these animals, or when they become inactive, especially during the cold winter months, is known as hibernation, and these animals are known as hibernating animals. Now next is arboreal animals. Animals that live mostly on trees are called arboreal animals. Monkeys and squirrels are arboreal animals. Monkeys have long limbs and a long tail that help them climb trees and hang down from branches. Arboreal animals also have sharp claws to support them while climbing. Animals that live mostly on trees are called arboreal animals. Monkeys and squirrels are arboreal animals. Monkeys have long limbs and a long tail that help them climb trees and hang down from branches. Arboreal animals also have sharp claws to support them while climbing. So the monkey is the best example of an arboreal animal. They have sharp claws and to tear the food, and also they have long thin limbs that are strong because they hold the branches of trees and swing from one branch to another. They have a long tail which they slightly curve it around the branch of the tree, and that helps them to get support with the branch and then swing from one branch to another. So these are the features of arboreal animals. Next is coming to aquatic animals, those animals which live in water. Aquatic animals that live in water are called aquatic animals, like the fish, the octopus, then the dolphin, so many variety of them, turtle, crab. Aquatic animals such as fish have fins to swim and gills to breathe. Some aquatic animals such as whales and dolphins do not have gills. They come up to the surface of water to get oxygen and go down. They breathe through their lungs. So this is an exception Whales and dolphins do not have gills like fish, they have lungs. And that is why you see a whale and a dolphin coming up very frequently to the surface of the water to take in oxygen and go down. They come up to the surface of the water to take in oxygen from the air. Octopuses, turtles and crabs are also aquatic animals. Some birds live in or near water. Birds such as ducks have webbed feet which help them swim. Cranes and flamingos have long legs that help them wade through water. Their long beaks help them catch fish from under the water. Now duck is a bird which wades in water. You see the webbed feet of duck. The skin, the toes are joined by a pad of skin. That is called webbed feet. And this webbed feet acts like, oars to help it swim across in the water or wade across in the water. Now flamingos and cranes, they have long legs which help them to stand in the water, in the river or lake, and then they have a long beak to hunt for fish in the water. So that is how their attributes, or they are adapted to living in water. Next one, amphibians. Amphibians are those animals which live in land and water simultaneously. At the same time, they will be on land. After some time, you can see them in water. The best example is frog. Frog lays its eggs in water. Amphibians are animals that live both in water and on land. Frogs and toads are amphibians. When on land, they breathe through lungs, and when in water, they breathe through their moist skin. So the frog is the best example of an amphibian, and when it is on land, it will use the lungs for breathing, and when it's in water, it uses the moist skin. Next is coming to the aerial animals. Aerial animals refers to the birds. Animals that fly and spend most of their time in air are called aerial animals, all the birds. Such animals have hollow bones filled with air. This makes the body light. They also have wings covered with feathers. All these features help aerial animals fly. The shape of their bodies also helps them to cut through air easily. Except flightless birds, all birds are aerial animals. Animals that fly and spend most of their time in air are called aerial animals, all the birds. Such animals have hollow bones filled with air. This makes the body light. They also have wings covered with feathers. All these features help aerial animals fly. The shape of their bodies also helps them to cut through air easily. Except flightless birds, all birds are aerial animals. Now these aerial animals or birds, they have a light body. They have wings to help them fly. Their bones are hollow so that it is air filled, so it's not heavy, and so it's a light body and they can fly very easily. And also the shape of the body is a streamlined body so that it can move through the air, cut through the air and move very swiftly. Now all birds which fly are called aerial birds, but except some birds are there which are flightless birds. They are there like the emu, the ostrich and even the penguin. They are flightless birds, they do not fly. Bats are mammals belonging to this group of animals. They have wings and can fly. Now bats are mammals, but they belong to the group of aerial animals because they have wings and they fly. They are nocturnal animals, that means they are more seen at night than in the daytime. In the cold winter months when food becomes scarce, many birds fly to warmer countries in search of food and warmth. Such mass movement of birds is called migration. Now it is very clear to us that when it becomes very cold in some parts of Russia, there are many birds that come from there, called the Siberian crane and such birds, that come from Russia to, that is a very cold part of the world, to warmer regions. And they stay here till this season is complete. The winter season is complete in their part, and then they go back. So this method of traveling from one place to another for better living conditions or for better food or conditions or better temperature conditions, because it is very cold from Russia and Siberia, these birds fly over to the warmer parts to avoid the harsh weather conditions. Such movement of birds is called migration. So with this we come to the end of the first part of the lesson. I want you to draw a picture of a crab and a turtle in your notebook. The picture of a crab and a turtle in the notebook. Thank you.